everyone, welcome back to AMTV News. I'm your anchor, Topher Morrison. It is Wednesday, May 22nd, 2013. And in our first story today, criminalizing journalism. Well, it's been in the news for a week or so. It's not often you see everyone agreeing on something, and usually when you do, cautious optimism is the phrase of the day. But with newer and more nefarious revelations of the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation surveilling pretty much everything under the sun, scaring the hell out of anonymous sources, whistleblowers, and insiders within the Obama regime and throughout government in general, how exactly is this democracy supposed to function?
Steve Ratner here, and Koki and Al, not Tea Party patriots, absolutely shocked, as am I, as to what this Justice Department did, not only to the AP, but now to Fox News, tracing 5 lines inside Fox News' Washington Bureau. You add on top of that also people inside the White House talking about the Espionage Act against a reporter who did exactly what reporters have been doing for 200 years. Right. It's almost as if Eric Holder and Barack Obama never read the Pentagon's papers case. We've been having this fight for 200 years, and they're talking about espionage?
No, and this seems to be, you know, what's funny is I think candidate Obama, if George Bush and Dick Cheney were doing this, imagine what candidate Obama would have said. Candidate Obama would be unloading. There'd be a lot of Democrats that would be unloading on the administration if they were just, and they were trying to crack down on leaks. You can't look at this and see it as anything other than an attempt to basically scare anybody from ever leaking anything ever again. So they want to criminalize journalism.
And quickly on to our second story, bureaucracy gone wild, but of course, in the other scandal rocking 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, it looks like Lois Lerner, who took the fifth in a congressional hearing yesterday, had been making a mint. Seriously. But as usual, the people who should know don't know anything about it.
Okay. Well, did you know, for example, Ms. Lerner, who's the head of it, got a total of $740,000 between 2009 and 2012, over $42,000 in bonuses. Would you check off on bonuses? And this is the one that used to sit there and was going to testify but didn't. Do you check off on
that? Number does not sound familiar. I didn't individually make decisions, but I probably signed off on overall agency
compensation. And have you participated?
And of course, everyone is wondering how high the IRS scandal reaches. The recently dismissed IRS commissioner, who was leaving anyway, visited the White House 118 times, but evidently mostly just for fun.
What would be some of the reasons you might be at the White House?
The Easter egg roll with my kids.
Well,
questions about the administrability of tax policy they were thinking of, our budget, us helping the Department of Education streamline application processes for financial aid.
But if you still have questions regarding whether or not this scandal goes beyond Cincinnati and right to the top, wherever that may be, a retired IRS agent, it is always a good source.
She tells NBC News that low-level employees were monitored and managers had to sign off on their decisions.
The idea of 2 rogue employees is inconsistent with the kinds of checks and balances that are inherent in the way the organization is set up. I think that even if an employee were to veer off in a separate direction briefly, I would be very, very surprised if anybody could sustain that before management became involved.
And if you silly ones out there thought my act reports and the IRS harassment was actually stopping, the DHS looks like it wants in on the fun now and showed up at a recent Tea Party protest in St. Louis.
But they're 501c4.
Capturing every corner of the alternative media, watch AMTV News Monday through Friday. Follow me on Twitter at AMTV News and like us on Facebook at Greenwave TV. Find my source material and more videos like these at AMTV Media and greenwave.com. Both are part of the AMTV network. This is AMTV News, the voice of independence.